Hi, welcome back to the Agreeable Gray Area podcast. I am your host, Al, and I am recording on Adobe Audition. This isn't some kind of ad. It's just before, I have Adobe Audition. However, I've been using, um, Audacity. I've been using Audacity because it's free and it's very popular, and it's a very awesome, robust machine too. I mean, not program, but yeah, it is Saturday, July 30th, 2022, after 10 p.m. I like to say the date because um, I do plan on making a bunch of episodes like ahead of time and then releasing them out, like a drip release, like every so often. And also just to kind of cover my ass in case I say something like, I don't know, talking about how rare an earthquake is in South Florida to happen, and then an earthquake happens in South Florida like the next day, or after I post it or something, or like the same day that I post it. So I could be like, yeah, no, I'm not psychic. I had no idea that was going to happen. I think it's good to have some kind of receipt because, yeah, I can save this and it would have the date of when I saved it. However, it won't have, like, if I upload it and make it live on some other day, then that won't be the case. Until I figure out how to, like, schedule and upload, I'm still new to all this, so bear with me. But I am, slowly learning, and I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm happy that you guys are, bearing with me. I don't know if I'm going to release this episode on Adobe Audition. I mean, I'm already nearly like 3 minutes in, so might as fucking well. I hope I can figure out how to, make edits in Adobe Audition and remember to make those edits because you're going to hear, a lot of weird things. I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to editing. That's because I've just never done it before. Even though I do look forward to doing it someday. Um, so yeah, I did want to talk about social media today. Just wanted to kind of jump right in there. I know I started kind of distracted, and it's because of social media. I was supposed to start about, I don't know, like a fucking hour and a half ago, probably like around 8:30 ideally. But I got caught up on social media trying to write a funny Twitter post that I didn't even end up posting. And and it was about a TikTok screenshot that I took, and I was trying to see if I can find back that comment on TikTok from a particular TikTok video, and I couldn't find it. Then I just got sucked into TikTok, and then I, just did the whole social media loop, social media carousel. I don't know. There's no proper term for it. It's like I do this where I just keep going back and forth between, I don't know, only like 4 or 5 social media apps. I don't even want to say, I mean, yeah, it's just social media apps. I was going to say apps, but it's really all just social media. And it can really just suck you in. You find yourself just hunched over, looking at your phone for a long ass fucking time, and it's just massively distracting. And it sets me back. It puts me, like I should be more on it in terms of, doing the things that I feel like I need to do or want to do. Like doing a podcast is a bit nerve wracking because I'm new and, trying to keep consistent with it. Like I still have my asshole brain that likes to that likes to just tell me like, oh, you could just do it tomorrow. You could just do it tomorrow. You could just do it tomorrow. You could do it later. And it's like, no, let me do it now. So, like I set myself up in terms of, not in a bad way, like, I do the setup where, I put my laptop in, on my desk in my second bedroom. I turn on like the lighting, which is very shitty and very sparse. That's why I'm also not doing video. Well, it's one of the many reasons why I'm not doing video. Like, also because I don't have like I mean, I could use my webcam camera, and I do know that, and that's most likely what I'm going to start out with. Eventually, when I get around to doing that, I just kind of want to focus on audio as of right now. But I try to set up the ambiance, the mood to get me to start. And of course, I bring my cell phone with me because I bring it everywhere. I actually don't even need it because I write a lot of my, podcast episode ideas on my Google Doc, which is on my laptop, which is what I'm using to record. But I just, for whatever reason, need my cell phone with me as if anything important is going to happen. Like, it's like we're just like addicted to our phones. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I'm very confident that I can speak for literally everybody. And that fucking scares me. That if you are listening to this, you are most likely addicted to your phone in one way or another. Like, and we all know that being addicted to our phones, more specifically social media, is a very bad thing. Like, it's almost as if it's like cigarettes at this point. It's gambling, absolutely. Like when you're looking to refresh the social media feed, it's just to get like another hit, another dopamine hit. It's all gambling. It's all addictive. It's all just, to keep us sucked in. And it's terrible. It's scary. Yeah. Like, I should have started this this episode a while ago, and I was trying to figure out, what should I talk about today? What should I talk about this evening? Should I even talk? And then I'm just looking and scrolling through TikTok, and it's just sucking me in, and it's bad. Very bad. Social media for the past, let's say 10 years, has made a massive fucking impact on our lives. I remember in college, back in like the early 2010s, if anybody words it like that, let's say like 2011, 2012 or so, like social media was just getting onto our cell phones. Like I think around that time people were pretty much Android or iPhone, but you would occasionally see the third party straggler, like just some random ass cell phone here or there. But I think most people were going towards iPhone or Android at that point. And just like 3 years prior, like people had all sorts of different cell phones, and it was fun, like you'd see people with like the Palm Centro. This was probably like 2008, 2009 or so. And you'd be like, oh snap, that's the Palm Centro from, like Palm, from like the Palm Pilots. And there would be all these different types of cell phones. I'm trying to think. There was the LG View, the LG Chocolate. There was, of course, the Razr. That wasn't really a smartphone though, but it was the phone. Of course, there was the T-Mobile Sidekick, which was dope, with the actual physical keyboard. But you could do a lot of things on those cell phones, mind you, but you couldn't do a lot. You couldn't do much. is essentially what the phone was, always meant to do, which was to talk and text. For a long time, I had a limited amount of texts. And I think I was with T-Mobile. I had like 600 texts a month. And it was so hard to communicate with people. I don't think I had unlimited minutes. I think it was the whole after 9 thing. But if you could have like the T-Mobile top 5. And I was like so uncool or unpopular. I couldn't even fill up the 5. Or I also knew a lot of people on T-Mobile too, so I wasn't that uncool. I was just semi-uncool. But like it limited you, but nobody wanted limits. We all wanted more. We all kept asking for more, and the cell phone provider overlords provided us with more. So I feel like the standard is just unlimited talk, text, and data. I rarely hear of anyone say like, they don't have that. I don't have any stress of calling somebody at 2 p.m. on a Thursday, and they don't have to like answer real quick saying like, call me after 9 and then hang up. No, like I have no worries of that. I remember Sprint was pretty cool because I think the nighttime minutes started at, like the nighttime unlimited minutes started at 7. The Sprint has such shit service. I never had Sprint though, but from what I heard and from literally everyone. Anyways, that was random. But yeah, then we started asking for more. They gave us more. And then we were just constantly connected, constantly online. Social media kind of, I guess it pushed that. I'm pretty sure the cart came after the horse. The cart being like the cell phone providers. It's usually, yeah. So, but I would definitely say social media probably pushed that. Let me know what you think wherever you listen to this and however you're going to try to contact me. Yeah. So, yeah, like we were just all of a sudden we're just constantly online, constantly connected. Internet was life. We'd post things hoping to get a like. We'd post things hoping to get, especially a like from like the person that you like, because that was, for me, the whole point of being on social media was to see if the guy that I like would like something that I post. I'm still in a way like that. Not as much because I don't really have any male suitors at the moment, or any men that are into me, or any men that I'm much into either. It's kind of a rough spot. Anyway, social media was just constant. We were constantly posting, constantly sharing news, sharing what we were doing, sharing where we were going. And I always thought that was weird, where people would do the whole like traveling from my home address to this particular state. I always thought that was really fucking odd. Or when, like people were giving away all sorts of information. Like even to this day, I don't like people knowing that I'm going out of town. I take pictures. I barely share them while I'm out of town. And then when I come back, I post them. I just post a handful. Because for a couple of reasons. One, I'm a woman. So, like I don't want people really knowing if I'm traveling by myself or whatever. 2, I own my place. I don't really want people breaking into my place when I'm not home. Obviously, like security be damned. Like I don't know how much it could really do anything if somebody were to break in, steal a couple of things real quick, and then leave. Because you know, like who, like you really think like help and the police are gonna catch them in time, and if they're just gonna come in real quick, take whatever like real quick, and then leave? No. So like I've heard situations of, like, yeah, of course, robbers check to see if they have any sort of like home security, but people still might like leave the lights on for like an entire week. And people who are watching that house, robbers who are watching the house are like, yeah, they're definitely out of town. That's bullshit. And then break in, deal with the noise of, the alarm and shit, and then take what they need and then, bounce. It's not like a police officer is just listening in next door. I mean, it's possible to actually let the police know that that you're going out of town, so they can kind of just like do a couple of drive-bys when you're out of town. That's a fun fact that I learned recently. But yeah. Anyways, what was I even? Oh yeah, like people were just sharing a ton of just personal information, and I always thought that was just like incredibly odd. But we've gotten so addicted to it, it's just become normal. We've just accepted this addiction, and everybody hates it. Like nobody that I know just loves social media, especially if they're over the age of like 23. Of course, like when you're like in middle school, high school, your parents probably didn't want you to be on social media like early. So like once you got to high school and especially college, you're probably on it. You're probably on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, of course. And these apps are literally designed to keep you on them. And not just that, they're algorithmically designed to make you feel like shit, to make you admire the people who society has deemed worthy of being admired. And whether you want to admit it or not, it affects all of us in some way. Like if you use social media once a day, once a week, once a month, it affects you. I feel like it's like alcohol in a way, where there really isn't a correct amount to drink. It's just best to not drink it at all. But if everybody is doing it, and that's the only way to meet people and talk to people and interact with people, what are you going to do? It's creating a generation of people who are very knowledgeable on a lot of things, but are very polarized, can be very radicalized, and it really concerns me. I have nieces and nephews that are, like late teens, like early college, late like high school, about to go into college, middle school, elementary school. And I'm very scared. I am very scared because nothing is being done about it. I don't know if colleges and universities or even high schools have any sort of class about how to manage social media. I remember in college, at Florida State, we were required to take like this alcohol course thing. I can't remember if it was a drug and alcohol thing. I think that was only for when I was getting my driver's license, but we had to take like this alcohol course thing. It was required to you needed to take it in order to graduate. And like most people take it like their freshman year. Cause I mean, I did, and I thought you had to because of how they were wording it. They made it seem like I had to take it right at this moment, and it taught me a lot. Like I always make sure I have a lot of water when drinking alcohol, and just to not only to prevent a hangover, but to sober me up, so I'm not drinking foolishly. You shouldn't, be like blitzed out of your mind drunk. You got to be, you could be drunk and aware. But I don't think there's any sort of mandatory course, to my knowledge. I honestly didn't look this up. I probably should have. I'm just sort of, just talking about the topic and just kind of going on the riff. I don't really want to click around on my phone or laptop at the moment. So definitely let me know if there is such a course for social media, like social media usage, rather. Cell phone usage. Because we've never been so connected and so alone at the same time. We put out this front on social media as if everything's a-okay, honky-dory, just peachy. Except Twitter. I feel like Twitter people are just all sorts of fucked in the head and sad, myself included. I'll take the I'll probably take the L on that one. That's fine. But each social media kind of has like this weird culture. However, none of the social medias you're actually, even Twitter, including Twitter, none of the social medias you're really being your true self. You're only showing a bit of yourself. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, because you are kind of presenting yourself to a mix of people and strangers. So you don't really want to present your full self. I guess in case of, protecting yourself, because there's a lot of weirdos out there. They may take what you say out of context. Especially on Twitter, on any social media, honestly, people might, you could say something like, man, this heat feels like the world, everything's on fire, and then, you find out that the big news story of that day was the Notre Dame on fire, breaking, that kind of shit. And then people are like, you're so insensitive, how dare you? And I was like, bitch, I did not fucking know that was even happening. I didn't know to check trending. I just figured out how to check trending 3 days ago. So so social media not only makes you not quite show your full self, you're also not really allowed to show your full self. And therefore you question who you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to act. And, this goes without saying about, the whole, alpha male culture and, I guess what they call, the manosphere. I honestly haven't looked too much into it. It's just from what I hear and from what it definitely sounds like, and from, men I've spoken to on social media, it just sounds like a bunch of men who claim to know all the answers on how to get women, and they tell you a bunch of bullocks, a bunch of bullshit, and for some people it works. It's for a lot of people it doesn't, but you keep coming back because of those devilish algorithms, which keeps you looking at these videos. And long story short, they're just there to because they just want to make money off of you. That's really it. That's what everything is on social media now. Um, yeah. So like social media can just kind of radicalize you into thinking you're an alpha male, which as a tech person, if something's an alpha, that shouldn't be for public consumption at all. That shouldn't have ever been released out into the public. Personally, it's just, they're just saying whatever they want for you to not figure out who you actually are and to figure out what it is that you actually like and don't like. They're just trying to fit you into a box and make you feel like shit when you don't fit into that box. When there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Like, you may like shooting guns and you also may like having a super clean feng shui home. Like, there's nothing, and, be a man. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually kind of hot. But, I mean, personally for me, maybe not so much the gun thing, but the feng shui thing, that to me, that's pretty hot. But, they're not going to say to keep your home in a feng shui way. They're going to, have you focus on, another thing when you can like multiple things and express yourself in multiple ways and just be who you are and express yourself in the way that you want to express yourself. But that doesn't sell. And every single social media platform knows that in a very uncontrollable, robotic, algorithmic way. So they just keep pushing this narrative onto you, thinking that this is what you want, but you don't really know what you want, but this keeps giving you what you want. So you don't really have time to figure out what it is that you actually want. And so you just, in the meantime, because you're addicted to all of the apps, like everybody else, you're going to get affected, whether consciously or subconsciously. You're going to get affected by the information that you are receiving from social media. And this goes for like literally everybody. I'd use like the whole alpha male manosphere bullshit because that's just things I've just been seeing pop up a little bit recently. It's more so like debunking the manosphere, not really like, you gotta go to the gym 2 hours a day every day in order to be a man. It's like, no. If you're a man, if you identify as a man, then you are a man. That's it. That's all. You just have to figure out who you are individually. I mean, whichever gender you are, that's barely the half of it. You got to figure out who you are as an individual. And social media doesn't want you to do that. Social media wants to literally take over your brain, tell you how to vote, push you into very extreme directions, because people who are in these spaces, who are on YouTube, making podcasts, doing posts, are kind of narcissistic, or very much so narcissistic, think they're the smartest person alive, think they know it all, and they have proof that they are the smartest person alive and that they know it all because of views and attention and people buying their merch or their tutorials or their this and their that. Of course, I am being, what's it called? I'm being hypocritical. Like, this is a podcast. I do have a YouTube channel with, two of my friends. I would like to create a YouTube channel about, coding emails eventually, but that's for another fucking time. Just throwing that out there. And yeah, so I will admit that I am being hypocritical. I am, however, not going to lie to you, at least not intentionally. I'm not going to say that this is the answer or like this is the definitive end all be all answer. This is what you need to do. I would suggest things like this is something that's helped me. This is something that's helped a friend. But I won't just just say shit that I don't know is just the flavor of truth that week. And I'll try my damnedest not to. But yeah, social media. Really, really upset because right now it is 10:43 p.m. and I am still upset because this could have been like 9 o'clock, and like you can't get your time back. I might have to do another episode on time management. This will probably be like 8 years in the future when I actually figure it out. I do not plan on figuring that out anytime soon. I will not make the time to figure out time management. But hopefully it clicks one day. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I super appreciate it. Anyways, please stay tuned, and I'll see you all on the next episode. Thanks. Bye.